Chapter 12. How to be Afraid. In another part of the castle, someone else was also longing. A thin ray of light filtered through the storm room window pane, and a small mouse gazed up at it, completely entranced. Somehow, somewhere, there has to be someone more like me, Despereaux thought, looking out into the vast world beyond. He was so absorbed he did not notice the gang of mice watching him from the edge of the schoolyard, half a block away. They were once his friends, but lately they'd begun to look differently upon the mouse who was so unlike them. "He's so weird," one remarked. "No kidding," said another. He mimicked Despereaux. "Oh, that is so beautiful. I wonder what's out there." The others laughed at the imitation. But Despereaux, still unaware he was being watched, continued to stare out the window. "This is so beautiful," he said softly. "I wonder what's out there." Laughter exploded behind him. Despereaux turned just as the mice looked quickly away and whispered among themselves. "It's one thing to be different from everyone else, but when you know you're different and you can't do anything about it..." February 1st. Doesn't scurry. February 3rd. Didn't cower. Inside his office, the principal was reading aloud from a lengthy report to Despereaux's parents. Didn't cower, wouldn't scurry. The portly mouse murmured, skimming the rest of the teacher's comments. "Oh, here's one." Drew a picture of a cat on his notebook. Lester swallowed hard. "A cat? Oh, I can't imagine," said Antoinette. "I'm afraid so," said the principal, nodding gravely. "Named it Fluffy." "Oh, I had no idea," Lester said. The principal handed Mr. and Mrs. Tilling the offending notebook. Despereaux's parents cringed. From the book's cover, a large tomcat smiled up at them. Outside the principal's office, Despereaux sat waiting. The office door creaked open. "Despereaux?" said the principal. "Yes, sir," Despereaux answered. "Come in, please." Despereaux sat between his parents. He was so tiny that the principal could see only two big ears sticking out from behind the pillbox desk. "Despereaux," the principal said, "why do you think you're in school?" "To learn," Despereaux said, wondering if he'd been asked a trick question. "To learn?" said Lester. "Yes, good." "Yes, that's good," Antoinette echoed. "To learn what?" the principal demanded. "To learn how to be a mouse, sir," Despereaux said. "That is correct. And you can't be a mouse if you don't learn how to be afraid," the principal said. "Despereaux, there are so many wonderful things in life to be afraid of, if you just learn how scary they are." "Yes, sir, I guess," said Despereaux, torn. "Yes, sir." The principal turned his attention back to Lester and Antoinette. "How about his brother?" he asked. "His brother? What about him?" Lester asked, alarmed. "Yes, is he, timid?" Lester and Antoinette exhaled in relief. "Oh, yes," they said at once. "Very timid. Timid as the day is long." "Good," the principal nodded, "because sometimes they just need to see the older ones do it. No one starts out afraid." "Understood," said Lester. "Of course," said his wife. The meeting caused Lester and Antoinette a great deal of paw-wringing. Where they had gone wrong, they lamented. Surely one of them was to blame for their son's shameful lack of fear. "You coddle that boy, that's the problem," Lester said to his wife as they walked across the school's checkered courtyard. "No, no," Antoinette said. "Yes, you do." "No, no, yes, you do. You've been doing it all along." "But he's so little," Antoinette said. "I have had to help him. He is not going to be afraid unless you allow him to be afraid." Antoinette pondered her husband's advice. Maybe he was right. Maybe it was time to let her baby discover fear. But she certainly wasn't going to be the one to help him. No, she would not even be able to watch. "Furlough will teach him," Antoinette said decisively. And so it was settled. Like it or not, Despereaux Tilling was going to learn how to be a mouse.